Good morning, everybody. It's your boy D Max. All right, we talking about Kyrie Irving, and there's a lot to be said about Kyrie and what he's done. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties that we just went through, but I definitely want people to understand. And my last show, the guy was saying that Kyrie Irving's no martyr, and what did Kyrie stand up for? Kyrie Irving stood up for a lot. He stood up for people having a choice. Now, if you have a choice and in everything, then that opens up your perspective. And this is what's not wanted, apparently, is that perspective to be open and people to understand that they have a choice in everything and that you don't have to go along with what the government tells you to do. So my man Alfred Allgood, hey, you can come on over to this show if you pick up on this one so we can continue our conversation because you was bringing up some good points and you was bringing up some things that a lot of people are saying about Kyrie Irving, and I do want to address these things. So if you see me or if you pick up on this, then I would like you to jump back in the format because you was on the something. And I never shy away from a conversation in somebody who does not agree with what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's get it. All right, bro. I'm glad you're still here. So you said he's a wealthy athlete and we can't relate. Well, you can't relate, but I can relate to him on the level of being a human. See, y'all let all of these labels and stuff like that separate you from other people. But when you strip all of that stuff off, we still human beings. That's what we all have in common. There's nobody out here who doesn't have that in common with any other human on this earth. We all human beings, regardless of how much money you got, regardless of what your position is, what your status, what label you carry, or any of that stuff. You still a human being when it comes down to it. You said Kyrie doesn't even speak well. He can't say he's for the people. He's not. Humanism had nothing to do with it. Well, that's your opinion. Like I said, we'll go back to that. This is your opinion because you don't know this man, Kyrie Irving, and you don't know what motivates him to do what he's doing. Now, if he says that he decided that he was not going to take this, that he wasn't going to take this vaccine, and he stood on that, I don't see why so many people have a problem with that. That man made a choice that was for his life and that he stood on based on his beliefs. I don't see why so many people have a problem with that because we are so caught up in our little entitled world of wanting to be entertained, just shut up and dribble. You don't want to hear nothing that the people got to say, like they're not a person, like there's some type of robot that's just here for our entertainment. Nah, that man is a human just like everybody else. He got feelings just like everybody else. And he has a mind to do what he sees fit. You know what I'm saying? And trying to hold him to a standard because of the money that he got, or trying to say that, well, he's rich. Nah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because money don't rule all things and money don't determine all things. You can have all the money in the world. If that's the case, you got rich people out here who commit suicide on a regular basis. So money don't fix everything, and money don't it don't exclude you from the fight for the cause. If anything, we need those types of people. We need those people with those resources available so that we can actually get some real stuff done. And nowadays we have athletes who are really involved, not just saying that they're involved, but they're really involved. We can't speak on the level of involvement until we see it with our own eyes. But to sit there and say that that man don't have this and that man don't want to do that and he's not this and that, that's just an opinion, bro. And you're right to have your opinion. You have a right to have any opinion you want to, but I disagree. And I will once again say that I admire the fact that Kyrie Irving made a choice. He made a choice to not fall into the fear that was being cast out upon everybody in this country when it came down to COVID-19. And he said, I'm not going to allow that fear to cause me to give up my liberties and my freedoms. If I don't want to take that vaccine, I'm not going to take that vaccine. And personally, I'm one of the people who didn't take a vaccine either. I chose not to take a vaccine, and I 100% stand by that decision. And here I still stand today, just as healthy as I was before not taking a vaccine. And so I don't know why people get so offended by the fact that this man exercised his right to say no. I don't see why people get angry that us as Americans exercise our choice to say no. You say you have a net worth of 2 million. I'm going to buck and not take a vaccine. I'm a martyr. You still eating Popeyes? No, I don't really eat Popeyes. I don't see what that has to do with anything. But you seem to have a problem with rich people standing for something. I don't know what that is about, man. That's something that you and the Lord gonna have to deal with. But I say it like this: I don't judge a person based on their status in society. I don't judge a person based on what their bank accounts say, and I don't judge a person based on what label or title they have. I judge a person based on what they show me, based on the work that they do, and based on the character that they present on a regular basis. That's what I judge. I don't care nothing about how much money anybody got. Are you really down for the cause? Are you really doing the work? Are you really standing up for something that you believe in? That man stood up for something that he believed in. And there's a lot of people out here who worked on regular jobs who stood up for what they believed in, and they didn't go to work, and they didn't go and do all of these things that they bosses said that they had to do because of COVID and this like and things like that. There's so many people, they just don't get the recognition because they're not Kyrie Irving, and they're not on TV every day, and they're not shown to the world every day. But I guarantee you, I know at least 10 people who put their careers and their jobs in jeopardy because they stood tall on not taking the COVID vaccine. And they're still standing tall on it, and God is still taking care of them. So I don't understand what that has to do with anything. There's a difference between a vaccine and the foods that we eat on a regular basis. I understand that there's GMOs and there are all types of stuff in the foods that we eat. Those things are out of our control. But what is in our control is taking a vaccine that we don't need. Our body has every rehabilitative quality inside itself. And if anybody was to be honest about what COVID-19 was, then we would have some real headway on getting this under control. But as long as they're gonna lie to you and keeping you under fear with these lies that they're telling you about what COVID-19 is, then you're gonna keep on giving up more and more of your freedoms and more of your liberties until you're under a dictatorship. So, you can try to make all of the comparisons you want to with the food and water that's been tampered in. Yeah, we understand that. We know that. And there are safeguards that you put in place for stuff like that. If you going out here to McDonald's and you eating all this fast food and all of this crap and putting all of this in your body, then that's on you. That's the choice that you made. But if you decide to go and pick out foods that are right for you, that are going to be healthy for you and your family, then that's what you do. But don't sit here and make a blanket statement like everybody just slaves to McDonald's, slave to fast food restaurants. Everybody not living like that, bro. So your point is very, very minimal. But I see what you're saying because yeah, we do put foreign stuff in our bodies all the time. But like I said, we have a choice when it comes down to this vaccination. And this is something that is not like food. It's not something that we need to live. But we've been told that this is something that we need to live based on everything that you see right now. Now we're going into how many booster shots is this? Is this the fourth booster that they're on? And now they're talking about having a daily pill just to keep you safe from COVID. Now, who stands to make money from all of this? All of this fear mongering, all of these daily pills that you need for COVID and all of that stuff now, who's making money off of this? The pharmaceutical company is sitting here laughing at everybody because everybody is so scared and listening to what Fauci say and what all of these other so-called experts say. If they were such experts, then why can't they tell you what COVID really is? If they were such experts, then why can't they tell you that the morbidity rate for COVID-19 is very, very low? And that people who get COVID, ultimately, most of the time, they come out all right. They're not going to play it up like that. They're not going to say that. They're going to keep you scared. They're going to always give you the bad side of COVID because they want you to see COVID as death. They want you to see COVID as something that's coming to take your life. And if you don't take these safeguards that we put in place for y'all, then COVID's going to get you. They done made COVID the boogeyman, and y'all scared of the boogeyman. Y'all scared of the boogeyman, and that's what they do all the time. They get you through fear mongering, and they have you thinking that you don't have no other choice but to take this, but you got a choice. You got a choice whether you want to take and put the Pfizer vaccine in your body, the Moderna vaccine in your body, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in your body. You got a choice. And through all three of those choices right there, if that's what you choose to do, now you have to deal with the side effects and the possible diseases that this vaccine that has not been fully processed can bring. Because it was a rush job. All of those vaccines was a rush job, and all of them still have problems with it. And it's bringing more problems to people than COVID is. So everybody has a choice to do what they want to. You said no one is bigger than the machine. Who has been making money off of fear? The pharmaceutical companies been making money off of fear. Jeff Bezos been making money off of fear. What's my name? What's my man name? The one who's over the WHO, the World Health Organization, Bates. He's making money off of people's fear. Everybody making money off of fear. What you talking about? The sports industry has been making money off of fear. Whoever make those masks been making money off of fear. Whoever been making those big head shields that everybody wears is making money off of fear. Everybody's making money off of fear. Fear is a great commodity. You see the war that's going on over in Ukraine and Russia. They're making money off of that. Fear. Gas prices are going up over here. Now you got fear. Oh, fear of having to cut out some of my luxuries. Yeah. There's so much fear, and there's so much money made off of the fear of people in the United States. But if you don't have that fear and you stand up and you say, I'm not scared, then they're going to say you're an outcast. They're going to say you're crazy. They're going to say something wrong with you. You don't have to speak well to be able to stand up for something. Who cares about how Kyrie speaks? Nobody cares about Kyrie speaks. I care about the fact that that man stand up for something and that he believes in something that's worth fighting for. And he's not going to allow this government to pressure him into doing something that he don't want to do out of fear. That's what I respect about Kyrie Irving and anybody who's willing to exercise their right in the choices that they have in this country. Making money don't mean nothing, man. Everybody's out here trying to get that dollar, but that dollar is not going to save your life. That dollar is not going to put you into nobody's heaven or hell. So yeah, we all a slave to the system, but guess what? There's some things that we have choices in, and there's some things that we can speak against. There's some things that we can work against. And that's what we out here doing. We understand that we are in this world, but we're not of this world. Yet we have to deal with the things of this world because we have to coexist in this world with other people. And there's a system that we are all under. Yeah, that's understood. But guess what? Within that system, there are things that we can say no to that people say yeah to every day just because it's the norm, just because that's what's regular now. It's been normalized to become a slave in the United States and to give up all of your freedoms just for some convenience and some luxury. Because that's all you're getting for it. You're not getting anything that's vital. You're not getting anything that's going to be long lasting. All you're getting is all you're going to get is some freedom of mind, basically. That's all you're going to get because the government's not really giving you anything to sustain you as a human being. They're not giving you anything that's going to safeguard your life for real. You see how they do it with healthcare. You can go to other countries across this world who are not in the financial position of the United States, and they have far better healthcare benefits than the United States. So the United States is not interested in doing anything that's going to benefit you as an individual person. The only thing the United States is going to do for you is something that's going to benefit the United States as a whole. They're never going to give you anything to benefit you. That's something that you have to do for yourself. And so if you stand by and you expect the government to do anything on behalf of the people, then you're just going to be stuck waiting. And nobody's going to be out here marching no more. Nobody's going to be out here doing that anymore because the time for that is up with. It's time for a new strategy. It's time for some new moves to be made in this world. And that requires you to be able to stand against the system that's telling you that you're wrong. And all of the people out there who are so afraid that they're going to follow that system. That's where we're at. We have a whole bunch of people who are following along the system because they're afraid. And they're going to continue to keep you afraid so that you can continue to give up your liberties and your rights. So, as a people, is this what you want? You want to be under a dictatorship? Because that's what the other countries are under. And how did they get under a dictatorship? They got under a dictatorship because of fear. The fear that was placed upon them, and they were shown, they were made to believe that they didn't have any other choice but to follow that dictatorship. It's either follow that dictatorship or fall to the wayside. And sometimes it was they were threatened to be killed. But we're not at that point over here, or at least it's not out in the public. So, yeah, man, I want to give flowers to Kyrie Irving for standing up for something. Him, Maya Moore. These are the type of athletes that we're looking for. These are the type of spokespersons that we're looking for. And you don't have to be an eloquent speaker. You don't have to be articulate. But if you have something to say and what you have to say is important, no matter how you say it, as long as we understand what you're talking about, that's all that counts. We don't need no eloquent speakers out here no more. We don't need people who are good talkers, and we don't need anybody who's charismatic. No, that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for entertainment. We're looking for somebody who's going to make something happen. We're looking for somebody who's going to stand on what they say and not bend to the pressure of society. So all you out here, I hope you got something from this. Whether you support Kyrie Irving or you're against Kyrie Irving, one thing you cannot say is that that man didn't stand on what he believed, regardless of what pressure people try to put on him. And that's a very admirable quality to have because there's a lot of people out here who don't have it. And a lot of the people who criticize Kyrie Irving are the scared people, the people who don't have the courage to say no, or the people who don't have the faith to know that if I do step away from this and I do risk this, that God is going to take care of me because I'm doing something that is righteous. I'm doing something that is good. I'm doing something that will benefit the people. Now, Everybody expect, oh well, Kyrie or any of these athletes, well, they got money, they can give money. No, we don't want their money. We want their time. We want their voice. We want their feelings. We want that. That's what's more solid. Giving money to an organization to get something done is one thing, but being there in person and really being an example and going through it yourself and showing people how to go through it, that's more powerful than any amount of dollars that you can donate. And that's what Kyrie did. Kyrie showed people that, it's not all about sports. It's not all about, and that's something that Kyrie loved. This man been playing basketball, I would say, a majority of his life. Basketball has opened so many doors for Kyrie, so he has a high regard for basketball, but he has an even higher regard for himself as a human being and as a person, and I admire that because he don't get caught up in the titles. He don't get lost in the identity of Kyrie the basketball player, because he understands himself as Kyrie the man. And when you can understand yourself as a man or a woman and not a sports figure or a title or a label that they place on you, you have perspective and you're able to make sound decisions regardless of people agree with it or not. But this is your boy D Mac, man. I appreciate you, Alfred Allgood, for coming on, man, and giving your views. I don't agree with you on certain things that you say, but that's all right. We can disagree with each other. There's no problem with that. Once again, salute to Kyrie Irving and everybody out there who's willing to make their choice, regardless of the fear mongering that this country does to try to keep people in line. Don't allow this country to make you believe that you don't have a choice. You have a choice in every single thing that takes place in your life. Now, the consequences thereof, it is what it is, but you have a choice in everything. And sometimes what you think the consequences are going to be, the consequences are not. Okay, let's just get that out there, because this country um, is so infamous for making people believe that they don't have any other choice. The Democrats like to make you believe that you don't have any other choice but them. The Republicans like to make you believe that you don't have any other choice but them. The independents are the only ones that let you know you have a choice either way, and you don't have to pick either one of those sides if you don't choose to. That's why I choose to be not of the Democratic or the Republic side, because I want to make a conscious decision. I want to make a fully informed decision, and in order for me to do that, I can't just have a one-sided mindset. I can't just be a Democratic mindset. I can't just be a Republican mindset in order to make a real, true choice based on the information given. So shout out to all of those who who make sound choices based on the information given. And that is what it is, man. I'm getting ready to get out of here because I'm just running out of stuff to say, man. I don't want to keep repeating myself over and over. But once again, shout out to Kyrie Irving. And y'all know what I say, man. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.